Hello everyone, and this is my next update video for weeks 6, 7, and 8 for my pregnancy signs and symptoms. As well, I'm going to do a little update of how my doctor's appointments have went as well. So let's start with the signs and symptoms for week 6 and 7. Were pretty much the same for those 2 weeks, and it was just extreme fatigue continued on. And it got extreme to the point I was sleeping almost 24 hours of the day away. Now, I'm probably over exaggerating a little bit. It wasn't 24 hours that I was sleeping, and I wasn't sleeping the entire day away, but I certainly was sleeping a lot more than normal. I also ended up getting extremely nauseous, and I had major food aversions to a lot of things. It was bread. I couldn't look at the sight of bread. It was pickles. I thought, okay, maybe I'll have a few. It was fruits and veggies, which the weeks prior I really was craving and wanting. I now was completely turned off from. Cup of tea, lemonade, any type of chips, sweets. There were a lot of things I just could not eat. And I was kind of forcing myself to have meals just to make sure I was still eating something. But I had major food aversions for week 6 and 7. I did in week 7 start to throw up. I became not just nauseous, but I was vomiting, which was not a fun time. Anything I was eating or drinking, it was just coming back up again, and I was just not feeling myself at all. The bleeding did stop after week 6 into week 7. That hasn't happened since, even now in week 8, because it's almost near the end of week 8. That hasn't happened since. And that was like spotting type of bleeding that had occurred, and I mentioned that in the previous weeks. But yes, that did eventually stop. And when I brought it up to the doctor, they said there was no causes of any concern or anything alarming to them, and it was quite normal. And it was something that occurred with a lot of women. So the doctor had no signs of concerns or needing to get rushed to the hospital or anything. So that was good that stopped, because it just made me breathe a little easier, because the entire time, even though the doctor told me not to worry, the entire time it was still happening, I was still quite concerned, because where I had previously miscarried in the past. I also, in week 7, ended up having really bad migraines and headaches to the point where I had to flick off all the lights in the room, be in complete darkness, and just close my eyes. It was brutal. Now, I know I can take Tylenol. It is safe to take Tylenol when pregnant. Now, this is, of course, a case-to-case basis and something you should talk to your doctor about, but I didn't want to take anything, especially where I miscarried before, and I was told, yes, it was safe for me to take, but still, I didn't want to chance taking any type of medication, so that was out of the question. Didn't even bother doing it. I just wrote it out, and that was only a day or two that was happening. After that, I haven't had no headaches since. There had been no real tenderness, no soreness in my stomach or upper area, nothing like that. Everything was fine. And now into week 8, my food aversions have pretty well went away. I still have a few junk food, like sweets, candies, chips, anything like that I still do not want at all. I have no interest in it. The sight of it, the taste of it, everything just, it turns me off. I can now have my cup of tea. Lemonade, I'm still kind of iffy on. And bread, I'm back to eating again. Whereas before, like I said, I was having aversions from it and didn't want it at all. But I'm able to eat that again. So my food aversions have definitely subsided a nice bit, and I am eating a lot more. Also, I'm not as fatigued or tired, which is great, and I'm so happy about it. I am still slightly tired, especially in the morning, and in the mornings I'm still a little queasy and my stomach's a little uneasy, but that's about it. As the day goes on, I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more relaxed, and a lot more content. That is something else. My mood has also started to go back to normal and not be like it was early on in pregnancy. The first few weeks, if you've seen those videos, my mood was brutal. I had mentioned it. I was extremely moody, and it was just angry, upset. It was just sad. Oh, it was all over the place. But that has finally settled out now into this week. So week 8 has definitely been a week where I can actually feel a bit more normality, a bit more relaxed. But I have noticed my appetite has went back to increasing again, whereas week 6 and 7, my appetite, like I stated, I just had so many food aversions. I just didn't want to eat anything. Now my appetite is back to wanting everything, and cravings I had early on, like I had a major craving of poutine, or poutine is what it's called, but a lot of people refer it as poutine and know it as that, so that's what I'll call it, but that's not what it's actually called. But anyway, that craving has come back again, which had went away for a little bit, but yeah, I definitely want that all the time once again. And same with fruit. I'm back to wanting fruit again. No headaches, no pain up or lower, nothing like that. No feet soreness, nothing. I have to say, week 8 has been the best week so far in terms of pregnancy with signs and symptoms. Now I'm going to talk about my doctor's visits. I left you off with stating how my first doctor's visit, it was kind of just me telling them, hey, I am pregnant. Here's how I'm feeling, here's what's going on, and I ended up getting sent to go do blood work, and that's where I left you off at. So I ended up getting that blood work back. Everything on it was fine. Now I am a negative blood type, which if the baby is the opposite blood type, so if the baby ends up being a positive blood type, I will have to, at approximately week 28, as well as just before the baby's born, I will need to get a needle that will help combat, or what's the best way to explain it? It's pretty much that my antibodies won't attack the baby, or vice versa. However, anyway, I'll have to get that. And that's if the baby ends up being a positive blood type, where I am a negative blood type. Besides that, all my blood work came back really good and great, which I was so happy and relieved about. Then I ended up having another doctor's appointment that I went to, and that ended up being pretty much a checkup of my vitals. So they ended up checking my heart rate, my blood pressure, my weight, asking how I'm feeling again. They also had me do a urine sample to ensure that I was indeed still showing up that I was pregnant. Oh, when I had my blood work done too, my HCG levels were pretty high and higher than if it was the day that we thought I conceived. So we're very curious if it could be just the fact I got really high HCG levels. I'm a lot further than what I thought, or is it a potential or possibility of twins? So we'll see anyway, because I do have an ultrasound in 2 more weeks, so we will find all that out. But yeah, my blood work did show that I did have higher HCG levels than if it was the date that we thought I had conceived. But again, we'll get to the bottom of all that. Nothing of concern though, like the doctor said. But anyway, but that's what ended up happening in that doctor's appointment. It was just pretty much vital checks, urine sample, and it did show up that yes, I was indeed still pregnant. And they also just asked my husband some questions, and my husband has to now go get blood work as well. That doctor's appointment, everything was good, and I was so happy. Blood pressure was fine. Weight's doing good for where I am in terms of pregnancy and everything else. Heart rate is doing good. So everything so far in this pregnancy is going really good. I'm so happy and relieved about it. Me and my husband have just been taking a deep breath, taking it day by day. And I'm just so glad that this week I'm just, like I said, feeling more myself, and my emotions are more relaxed. I feel more calm. I feel just more on the move, wanting to get things done, wanting to get housework done, everything else. So that's good, because the first few weeks I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to sleep, lie in bed, not get up and do a single thing. But so far it's been a great and wonderful experience. Even though I felt miserable in the first few weeks, I wouldn't take anything back. And I'll have another update for you guys again next week. I'm going to try to do these updates weekly now versus every other week, because I've been doing them sometimes 2-week updates, 3-week updates like now, but I really want to get in the habit of doing it weekly. So starting next week, it should be every single week you'll get an update and how things are transitioning and what's happening and occurring with my signs and symptoms. My next appointment won't be until the ultrasound, which will be in 2 weeks. So I cannot wait to update you then with that. And we're just taking a deep breath and taking it day by day, because the longest I've been pregnant had been 12 weeks. That was the very first time I've ever been pregnant. That one was the longest pregnancy before we ended up miscarrying and losing the baby. That was, like I said, 12 weeks. So we're still taking it week by week, and we're still just being cautious and not trying to get too caught up in the moment just yet. We just want to get through this first trimester. Any other time I miscarried, it was like 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, things like that. But the furthest I ever got along was 12 weeks. So if I can get past that 12 weeks and if I can get into the second trimester, that's when I know I can start to celebrate. I can relax a little more. I can get more excited. I can start picking things up because I won't do anything yet. I won't buy anything. I won't announce it to every single person in my life. Now I've announced it on like social media and I told like close friends and close family, things like that. But in regards to like extended, me or my husband haven't done that just yet. We're just trying to wait, see what happens. We're just happy we're at week 8 right now. So, oh my goodness, almost there. A few more weeks, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week for another update. Might be the same, might be different, might be slight differences, might be, we'll see. Because this week is so different than last week and the week before and prior weeks. This has been, like I said, my best week so far in terms of just feeling calm, okay, more energized, and just wanting to get things done and not be sleeping all the time and feeling so yucky and miserable. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.